Hi beauty fam, welcome back to Mickey Car Beauty. I'm Mickey Carco, and on my channel I love to talk about luxury skincare, beauty, and sometimes luxury goods. And today I'm doing two looks with the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette, this beauty right here. I did two looks with these. I think this is a great palette if you want to see if it works for me, who is like a medium tan complected. Is it ashy? Do you need this? I have the Glam palette. Is it the same? Then keep watching. And if you're interested, then keep watching. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe, click all for notification for my videos so you know when they go live. Commenting and liking below really helps out engagement on my channel, and I appreciate you all. And with that out of the way, let's begin. So this palette, as soon as it came out, I ended up clicking the button. There was no hesitation with this. And there's actually two new shades in here that she says. I think it's like a sparkling foil, a special shade, and I'll insert some swatches and product shots in between. So this retails $69. It's being sold at, I believe, Beautylish, Sephora, and Natasha Denona, and maybe other retailers at this point. It's introducing the I Need a Nude eyeshadow palette, a cool tone color story featuring 15 new enchanting muted, rosy, and nude shades. Alongside Natasha's iconic formulas, the I Need a Nude palette debuts brand new wet effect sparkling and glossy finish formula, illuminating any eyeshadow look with an ethereal touch of a glistening sparkle. Okay, so Natasha's pro-level user-friendly formulas are seamlessly blendable, delivering vibrant, ultra-pigmented results. This mid-size palette features 2 high-shine metallics, 7 buttery soft mattes, and 3 captivating sparkle foil finishes, complemented by 3 eyeshadows in the new wet effect formula with sparkling and glossy finishes. Made in Italy, cruelty-free, paraben-free, mineral oil-free. Okay, I'm grabbing my Hakuhodo J552 brush. I need to get more of these. I think they're increasing their price. So going into Mesh down here. Okay, so going in using the shade Mesh. And these are the shades. I'm not sure if these are going to look ashy on me or people that are deeper complected. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. And in the past, I haven't always been the fan of her creamy matte. Sometimes I find them hard to blend. So far, this is better. It's just different palettes of hers sometimes don't work for me for the creamy matte formula. Okay, so I'm grabbing another brush, and then I'm going into the shade Tender, which is this one right here, just to deepen up the crease. I'm using a classic crease. This is the shade Tender right here. So far it's blending really well. And then I'm going to take the color Stone, which is the lighter one, the stone color here, and I'm just using that on the outer end. And these are shades these are not in my comfort zone because I'm just scared they're gonna look ashy. Okay, so going into Mesh, I'm just gonna drag that on the lower lash line. This is a Lotus series, Lotus Soft Definer. For depth, I'm actually going to take the color Silhouette, the deepest one in the shade in this palette. I'm actually taking another Hakuhodo brush. It doesn't have a number. It's basically a dome-shaped bristle brush. And going into Silhouette here. And I'm patting that on. I really like this Silhouette color. It's like a deep cocoa brown. No, that's not right. It's more neutral leaning. It's a neutral black brown, but it's not a black, so it'll add depth really well. It can use as a liner, shading. It's a really nice, versatile shade. And in my last look, I actually used this as a liner as well. Okay, so going into Ella down here, taking my Lotus Series Builder brush. This shade here, using my Smith 253 brush, going into Muse. This is so pretty. It's going to, but it almost creates a wet effect. Do you see that? So pretty. Whisper, Sheen, Delilah. I'm going to use Whisper because I don't think I've used that yet. And then just using my Hakuhodo brush, eyeshadow brush. It's got this really soft tip, but it's also squirrel hair, so it's nice for the inner corner highlights. I'm bringing some of that in on the inner corner here. I might use that color Delilah on the bottom and see what happens. So I'm taking a BK Beauty 204 brush and going into Delilah down here. And then going into that matte shade again, Silhouette. You can see how that just smoked out a little bit more and added depth. Okay, so then I'm going to, there's a little bit of messiness, so I'm gonna just kind of buff this out here. Because I put that Delilah at the bottom, there's some fallout. I wouldn't recommend putting Delilah at the bottom, but it's pretty. It's pretty. What I'm gonna do is just kind of take this brush. I'm going to finish my eye look, do my brows, mascara, and then I'll be back. Okay, beauty fam, I'm back with a full face of makeup on. I just finished with mascara. I'll put all details of the makeup I used on my face below. Chantecaille Luster Glide eyeliner. It's one of the best eyeliners. This is in the color Slate. And then I used the Surratt liquid liner in brown. Let's talk about the eyeshadow, and I think I'm gonna be done. I'm not gonna be one of those reviewers that do like 4 eye looks. I just don't have the time. So if that's kind of your jam, I'm sure you can find somebody who has like 4 reviews, 4 looks. This is what I can muster at this point because I want to get this review up. I do think there's a lot of fallout, and it has to do, I think, with certain shades. Specifically, I think Delilah was a bit crumbly, as well as Muse. Even when I'm like taking it out of the pan, there's crumble. And I find that to be just like a Natasha Denona thing, and just kind of, I think it used to be a lot worse, but this formula is better. If I were to go back and use this palette again, I would definitely have my Pat McGrath's Intensifies wand or if you are bothered by fallout, I would say, again, just have glitter glue or something like this on hand that intensifies one, or do your foundation and concealer after you do your eye makeup. And because I forgot about that, anytime I'm using Natasha Denona or Pat McGrath, I just forget. Sometimes I just need to do my foundation after, because there is fallout, and that has to do with how glittery and just beautiful these shades are. Okay, so I would definitely recommend this palette. It's not like glam, but you get kind of glam vibes. I think it's a little bit softer than the glam palette. I think the glam is definitely more cool tone, whereas this is more like a softy pink with some brown tones. Definitely it's cool leaning, but with some warm tones in it. And that is how the palettes are looking. With the glam palette, I have used that for going out, but also for work, and I just do a more subdued look. But this is a really nice, I feel like those two, glam and I Need a Nude together, are just, they're just a beautiful pairing. I could see these two rivaling for my top spot in my collection. I think that I'm kind of curious, I haven't seen anyone else's review. If you're deeper complected than me, I'm wondering if it looks ashy. So I'm going to watch some beauty content creators who are deeper complected than me and see what they say. I kind of wish that she came out with, and I know she hasn't done this, this is more of a Sydney Grace thing. Sydney Grace is an independent company, and what that company does is they come out with a light and deep palette, and that way they're inclusive. So what they'll do is generally, I think they put in matte shades that are going to work for deeper complected beauties. And this, I'm not sure if it's going to work. I think, you know, this is really the deepest shade here, and then you have to build up this and these just might not be deep enough. So that is something I would kind of watch. My closest complexion and my closest foundation shades are listed below, so you can see if our foundation twinsies are close. You can see that it does work for me. I don't think it looks ashy. The Pat McGrath Rose, the first Divine Rose palette, was ashy on me, so I actually don't own that anymore, so that didn't work for me, but this does. I think it's a beautiful palette. This is just my final look coming in closer. I do think it's a beautiful palette. I have no regrets getting it. I know what I'm getting into with Natasha Denona palettes, that you know, the shimmer shades, the special shades, sometimes have followed just like Pat McGrath, but we kind of deal with it and then use glitter glue, use the intensifies one, or just do your makeup after. If there's a continued fallout, I will post that below, but I definitely recommend this, at least for medium tan complected beauties. I think I'll be definitely using this into like basically all seasons, and actually probably combining it with the glam palette. There's a question, if you have glam already, glam palette, do you need this? I don't think you need any makeup. If you're perfectly content and happy with the glam palette, just keep using that. If you're not in the market to buy this I Need a Nude palette, I would say wait for a sale like the Sephora sale, or this eventually goes on sale. So, or the Beautylish gift card event, so that you can kind of maximize your purchases and purchasing power. So if you're not in the market to get this, you don't need to rush and get it because it's not limited edition. I would say wait for a sale, but if you know this is your color story, this is your jam, I think you're not going to be disappointed. You know, I've used this look like probably 3 times. I didn't film the other one look I had. It's just really beautiful. I think it's a cool tone palette. It's like less glam than the glam palette, if you will. And I could see, this is what I would have to do when I use the glam palette for work, just because I don't work in a place where I need super glam look. I actually tone down how I use the glam palette, but I could actually go in with this and not worry about like being too extra, if that makes any sense. Okay, so that's my review, beauty fam. I hope that was helpful. And if you like that content, please remember to subscribe to my videos, comment and like below. It really helps that engagement on my channel. And As always, please be very kind to yourself and others, and just be you. Until my next video, beauty fam, take good care of yourself. Bye.